A pleasure to meet all at last, and well, looks like we got some more WhyIsThat questions to answer, so I'm going to be pulling this up here just to get a look at what the next one is. Oh, looks like I've got something pretty interesting here. A rather good question. Why is that you use royalty-free, quothetically, backdrops for your custom thumbnails? So, that's pretty much just it. They're wondering, why am I using certain things as backdrops? Basically, if you've noticed the thumbnails on a lot of my videos, then you probably know Honest J Nowak, Gaming with Kaiju Force Neo, WhyIsThat, and a number of other things that I've done. They all have these custom thumbnails that are basically meant to act sort of like logos or title cards in a way that you might see at the beginning of a feature-length film, or even on the poster of a feature-length film. Now, while it is true that I do have it set up in a sort of theatric or cinematic styling, the thing is that I typically have custom thumbnails just to make it a little more appealing to the subject at hand, but more importantly to draw closer attention to what the exact point of the video is. Gaming with Kaiju Force Neo, for instance, especially with the latest tangents that I put together, like Legend of the Dark Pictures, and an upcoming sequel to the likes of Journey 5.067, and even the Emergency Stockpile, which I haven't done in over 2 years now. I mean, the ideas that I've been having for GWK content are all over the place. It's like I've said before, especially with the more recent Vlogathon 5.0 last November. GWK has become the biggest possible thing that I could have ever conceived. It's no wonder why I have over 11,000 videos right now. And it's unbelievable right now. But, to tell you the truth, it's definitely not over yet. So, you're going to be seeing GWK for a long, long time. I mean, all the possibilities that I might have put together for GWK content, I'm sure some people will have more questions relating to GWK. But anyways, though, the point of having royalty-free backdrops is to mostly avoid the likes of plagiarism, copyright infringement, because anyone could probably find art that they had posted on the web, and a lot of times, while it can be considered royalty-free based on usage of fair use according to Section 107 of the Copyright Act, it's mostly regarding the likes of copyright material in general. It's not just for film and TV show, but also for other things as well. Art, music, books, etc. But the thing is, fair use is a real big importance. If that section wasn't even there, then maybe a lot of people who are debating about copyright infringement policies and having their own personal regard or opinion about it, none of that stuff would ever exist. If it wasn't for that section alone, then I'm sure nobody would ever argue with it and spend all their time focusing on original content. And to tell you the truth though, I mean, playing games probably isn't that original of content, but it is in fact my own personal playthroughs regarding gaming. The thing is that gaming is a thing that people have loved to see me do. When I did videos back when the primordial era of Kaiju Force Neo's YouTube channel was around, between 2008 and 2013 when the blackout period started, as a result of all the stuff I did, debauchery and whatnot, gaming was actually a highly considerable thing. People liked to see me play things like Call of Duty or Skyrim or Assassin's Creed, mostly because I was PlayStation and Xbox only. We did have Nintendo consoles at the time as well, but those didn't get covered on very much because people were kind of sick of Nintendo when the Wii came out, for example. But let's be real though, considering what has gone on today, people are talking about certain games like Hogwarts Legacy or Dead Island 2 or the upcoming, there's a number of different things that people have been wanting to see me play. And to tell you the truth, I actually did have a Google forum that I put up there, and I've since taken down in 2021 following my move to Oregon. Of course, there's a whole story on that entire thing that I have spoken of earlier, but the main thing is that I shut down that forum because I figured I was ready to stop doing gaming as a whole and even retire from it. But it turns out, as I would eventually learn, moving to the West Coast probably wasn't the bright idea that I had hoped for. Less than a month passed before I would eventually be forced to move all the way back to Wisconsin. And because I'm back here now, obviously, I still have a PS4. I still have all that stuff that's there. I mean, I obviously couldn't just let it go entirely, because people probably would have wanted me to play certain games in 2021 and 2022 pretty much, which I've since done so. But the thing is that with all this gaming material, all these new thumbnails that I've basically come up with to manage for the rest of the entire franchise that I have yet to cover on, there still is more work to do. As you probably noticed from all the premieres that I've put up there, like GWK Season 7, Megapix Weekly Season 4, and then, of course, there's also a new version of Leftovers known as Upscale Leftovers, a sequel to Leftovers, which I did 2 years earlier. But all these thumbnails that I've put up there, all these different bits and pieces, they all cohesively adhere to the likes of the mass subject that's involved, not just with the title, but also with the collective thought and processing that's within the videos themselves. While they seem simple, these gameplay videos were actually not that easy to put together. It might have been as simple as using the PlayStation 4's share feature to record the clips that I've put together, managed to have it all done in HDR quality, and then in terms of editing, all I had to do was snip, fade, add text, and then render and process. But even that entire process as a whole, it's harder than it seems. Like I said, these videos might seem simple, mostly because they are in fact just actual gameplay that's come directly from PlayStation's share feature on the PS4 console. But that's just more or less the whole idea that I brought together to begin with. Especially even before I started the Resurgence area in 2018. But it's not just within the Resurgence era, but it's also even before that. Because I knew that the share feature would probably come in handy for making newer gaming videos. And since early 2018, after, a few failed experiments here and there. I know I've said that early 2017 was the time when GWK officially began, but the thing is, those 2 seasons that I put out there throughout that whole year were scrapped because they didn't turn out too well. But the thing is, GWK is gigantic. And with all the thumbnails that are there, it just goes to show that the creative efforts I put together and all the new tangents I've come up with, all the new ideas and creativity that I could have conjured up on my own, but nowadays, my work here is never alone. I do have a lot of friends by my side whom are willing to help every step of the way. So, while you might not see them on screen, or while you might not see them as a whole, just know, these people are out here away from the cameras, and they're likely editing some videos right now. And what you see on the channel is basically what you get. So I guess with that in mind, that concludes another piece of Why Is That? And hopefully more questions are there to be answered. And more importantly, all you guys have all the everlasting support that I have. And I hope that it keeps up for a long time. So I'll see you guys then with another question to be answered soon on Why Is That 3.0.